Hi, how's it going? Today I'm gonna talk about some ideas to make the arrangement of the song Samba de uma Nota Só. The song is well known as One Note Samba by Tom Jobim. And the idea of this live started in a live that I've made with the Debbie Denk. That's is a musician, a music teacher. She gives she's a teacher and she teaches sometimes Brazilian music for her students, and we were talking about some ideas of the bass, and I'm gonna show how we think of about the bass, because many people that play out of Brazil, they play wrongly. They play the wrong bass line. And so I'm gonna correct the motion, talk about the correct motion, and I'm gonna show some ideas to make this arrangement, how I think this song. All right. So to start, let's begin. One thing I was talking about with Debbie, it's in Brazilian music we have a bass that usually does downwards movements, not upwards. We have exceptions that we do upwards movements, but we prefer to do the sound of the bass in samba and bossa. It's more common to do downwards. All right. Other thing it's common to do the root and the fifth of each chord, and in this case of the samba de uma nota só, or one note samba, we have a chromatic harmony. So with this harmony, it won't sound good if we do fifth. It's not sound very, the intervals doesn't sound good. So the solution I've found, and I've heard on the recording of Tom Jobim, it's to do just octaves. And to create some variety in this bossa nova simple bass, there are some variations. In the third chord, it does upwards movement and goes down again. This is very common to use these 8 notes and to connect some chords in the traditional bossa nova. Ta, tom, ta, tom, tan, ta, tom, ta, tom. But not in all measures. You do, and sometimes it's not as I've seen some foreigner musicians playing ta, 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 ta. It's not this. It's not. It's the basis of the bass. In bossa nova, it's just the beat and the 2 beats, all right. And in sometimes you do a pair of 16th notes. This is the very basic about the bass in bossa. So you're gonna sound like this. This is the basic idea behind the bossa nova bass. But I'm gonna show a thing that I like, to think the bass of samba, that's more percussive and has a little bit more of subdivision. So we can use this. Can do also more variations on this kind of bass. So I prepare some using chromatic motion. I prepare some of the new chords that are arriving from. I in my version of Samba de uma nota só, I transform the more soft bass of bossa nova in a more percussive bass. So I play, and just one thing that is very important about this bass: the notes are not equal. You have more accent in the second note, and you don't have in the first note is just staccato or can be a ghost note. Alright, I'm just playing just to feel just the bass. I recommend you to, when you are playing, record a little bit, and after the arrangement is ready, record and hear if you are doing this kind of creating this sensation on the bass. Alright, so this is the first topic I would like to talk a little bit about. What else more we can talk? Let me see about another textures. You can use a more harmonic texture also, where you don't have bass sometimes. And after that, let's talk a little bit about the B section of the samba. I like to use a left hand that is typical on choro, that I take the root of the chord and I do syncopations. I use if you know my channel so many time ago, you're gonna recognize the two function left hand, where we will use these two fingers to do the third and the seventh of each chord and connect them, and the other fingers to do the bass. So we're gonna have this. I'm gonna play with the two hands. So you can play the B section, the melody is free. So I'm gonna show you again. I'm sorry. The only careful you have to pay attention in this situation, it's not to use so much this kind of bass, because you're gonna lose the sensation of samba. You're gonna enter in another style, that is the choro. So just use for a few measures, and if you don't have a large hand, you can use just the root for the first thing, the finger number 5, and the other fingers to do the third and the 7. So and after that you do voicings. When the rhythm is very different of the melody, you can play all the two hands, both hands together. Alright, so this is a situation where you can sometimes the rhythm is so complex that you don't need to make something with the left hand. You just play all hands together. Alright, what else more we can say? Let's talk a little bit when we do some comping, when we play kind of texture that I'm using the right hand to imitate this the tambourine. And for who doesn't know what is a tambourine, tambourine is this instrument. And the tambourine has one tail. I don't know how to play it, but it's important for you that are playing Brazilian music to understand it's working, because the tambourine play all the 16 notes, ta 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 ta, but you have accented notes here in the right hand with the stick, and in the left hand you press the third button, the third finger. So you create a kind of counterpoint with this, and it sounds like ghost notes if you do it in a fast way. At the piano we can do the same. So we can create some with this you create the sensation of the tambourine, all right, in the samba. And this is gonna enrich your comping. If you wanna have some reference of of a pianist that uses this very well in a very good way, I recommend you to hear César, like Caesar, Camargo Mariano. All right, he has interesting samba grooves that use the sensation of the tambourine. All right, so this is one possibility that you can do. For example, when you are comping someone, or even if you want to do a solo with less notes. I'm using one finger too. I'm creating the sensation of the tambourine, but I have one melody. And other thing that I think is very important when we are improvising in samba, it's that the melodies of samba doesn't exist melodies of lots of 16 notes. This is very uncommon in samba. I think Jobim created this to create a contrast, a creative contrast between the melody that's made by just one note or two notes if you see the second part. He creates some balance in his song, because there is just one note on the melody, and after that in the second section you're gonna find a melody with a scale character, right? So one thing we can make to go more inside the language of samba is to use this melody made by scales in a purposive way. And to do this, we use a kind of division that is made for the shaker, that we call here in Brazil of ganzá. Let me show you a little bit. Uh, so you can give the sensation of a percussive instrument, and this is gonna make your samba sound much more inside the language. So besides doing this, I'm playing hardly, so I can create the sentence. Note how it gives swing. So you are given the sensation of percussion doing something that doesn't exist in samba. And the same when you improvise. It's more typical to do melodies in samba using syncopations. The melodies of samba are done by this if we improvise. This is a more typical melody of samba, but the harmony is not common in the traditional samba, right? This is a very different kind, it's a modern kind of samba. If you don't know bossa nova, it's a kind of samba, it's a softer kind of samba that, and some people who play samba in Brazil, play the traditional samba, talk that the musicians of bossa nova didn't play correctly the samba. All right, so the concepts are different. What else more? So talking about improvising in 16 notes. If you are making a fast samba and you want to improvise in 16 notes, don't play. So try to create the sensation. So note that I create a sensation. I'm picking an instrument from the rhythmic layer and transforming in melody. This is the secret. All right. So this creates a sensation of Brazilian swing that the 16 notes won't create. All right. What else we can talk more about samba? That is a way that I recommend you to behave in the different textures, in the different extensions of the piano. For example, if you're playing a very low solo, I recommend you just to do the bass drum. If you go a little bit more for the center of the piano, you can do to the center of the piano, I start using the two hands to do the voicing. If I go a little bit more from this upper of the center octave, I start to use the two function left hand. When I go a little bit more up, I try to use the bass, a lower bass, jump into the chords. And here I'm using a bass that's common just in samba, not in bossa nova. And you just use this two 16 notes just when you do the 2 in 2 measures, alright? What else more? Another texture you can use to play higher, but it's more soft. It's to just make the situation, you can create some lines to simulate the 7-string guitar. Alright, I think that's it. Let me try to play the whole song, and if I remind something more, something else, I'm gonna comment. Alright, so I'm gonna do my a little arrangement. So that's it. I hope you have enjoyed this tips about the arrangement of the samba. And if you want to see more, if you want to understand more, just write me in the comments. I'm gonna have pleasure in helping you in your process. Thanks, Debbie, for the messages. I'm very happy with your audience, and see you for lives and quick tips every day here, talking about Brazilian music and everything related to play in an authentic way. Bye bye.